Today's the 13th, Monday. I didn't go to work today. In fact, I got up late because the video I made yesterday, which was like 38 minutes, it took like 2 to 3 hours to upload from my phone via Wi-Fi. So I'm not doing that again. So I'm keeping an eye on the timer. So I got up around 9:39 and spent way too long finalizing the stuff for the courthouse, the last packet, which was like 3 forms and then 2 attachments. So that literally took from, I don't know, maybe I started at 10 after showering and eating breakfast, 10 till 2. I didn't expect it to take all day. And then at 2:30, I left. My mom wanted to go with me, so I left to go to the courthouse. And my plan was, I left to go. So I had to make a stop. I had to get envelopes and postage, like pre-postage, because the final packet you send in the triplicates of whatever information I submit. One stays with the court, one is mailed back to me, and one is mailed to my spouse. So I have to provide the mailers pre-filled out and stamped and all that. So I was like, okay, they specifically say they want manila envelopes, and I'm like, I don't know where to get those, maybe Dollar Tree or something. But I was like, well, it's already 2:30 and the courthouse closes at 5 and it takes a half hour to get there. But my mom's like, oh, just go to the post office, they'll have stuff. So after some back and forth with the counter representative, the postal worker, he just said, just get priority flat rate because we don't have manila. And so that took a while just because I handed him the paper and I'm like, I don't exactly know what they're talking about. Can you review this? I got that sorted out. I left around, I don't know, we were in line for a while. Maybe it took 15 to 20 minutes to get that all done and then be back on the road. So I got to the courthouse around like 3:20 maybe. And then I look on the hours, posted hours, and it says, oh, they're open till 4:30. And I was like, oh, 4:30. I thought it was 5. Oh well, we have an hour. So I had a form that I had to submit separately. So there's 2 counters. There's the one on the first floor, the clerk, and then there's the help desk on the 3rd floor to ask questions. So I submitted that one random form on the 1st floor, and then I went up to the 3rd floor. We went up to the 3rd floor, and then there was a long line. And then I saw on their thing, oh, only open till 4, and it was already like 3:40, and there were 3 people ahead of me. So I was like, oh, okay, so I was just really wrong about all the times, and I got here really late. But I was still hopeful. And then one lady, I don't know, got impatient or yeah, something like that. So she left, and she ended up going downstairs to the clerk and just, I don't know what she did. So I got to the front of the line around like 3:50. And I was like, okay, I need to rush through all my questions. And it's been the same guy every time. It's really funny. And I got some clarification from him and reassurance that, like, okay, this is my stack. Is that all I need? And, am I missing anything, etc. So then we went down to the I didn't, I, okay, focus. I wasn't completely satisfied because he was even confused at one point about what form I filled out a form. I had 3 different resources and they were all telling me a little bit different information of how to do this. And he looked at one of my forms and he was like, you don't need that one. And I'm like, are you sure about that? And then he checked and then he's like, yeah, you don't need that one. And I'm like, but are you sure about that? I didn't just say this, like I had the documents. And then he checked again and he's like, okay, I guess you do need that. But then I asked him like, okay, what if I don't need this but I include it? And he's like, oh, that's not a big deal, they'll just void it if it's not relevant. So that was reassuring. And then we went back down to the first floor, and again with the teller lady, I was like, okay, so I have these 3 different documents all telling me 3 different things. So they don't like answering questions, but I asked her anyway, and she's like, oh yeah, like you made 5 copies? Oh no, you only need 3, like stuff like that they're actually legally allowed to answer. So it was like 3:58 when I finally like submitted everything. No. I don't know. I took a picture when my mom and I got out to like celebrate that it's over, maybe. Oh, and I just got a notification of what I want to talk about next. But let me get to that point. Okay, so then went back on the freeway. I was super hungry, so we stopped at Taco Bell, and I got a chicken quesadilla, and then I went into a food coma for, I don't know, 2 hours, and I was watching, it was just a void of time, plus it was really hot, so I was just relaxing. And then I looked at my watch and it was already like 6, and I'm like, don't I have a bunch of stuff to do? And I couldn't remember what I needed to do, but I was like, no, there's definitely stuff I need to do. So I turned on the computer and checked my email and like refreshed my thoughts, like, oh yeah, so one of the things is she needs a new vest. So I did some research on Amazon, and I was like, at first I was like, oh, let's just get the same thing I got before, but then I was like, no, clearly she got out of it, so let's try something new. So I'm purchasing 2 different style vests for her, and we'll see which one is best, or if hopefully at least one of them is effective. And then I had to update my credit card information because these sketchy websites. I had to include a settlement, like a marriage settlement agreement, and yeah, that's part of this whole process. Like, oh, you and your spouse have to like type something up and sign it, and it has to be official and legal. So I'm like, okay, let's look up a template for it. And all the templates are behind paywalls. Even if they say free, they let you go through the process, but then you can't download it unless you put in a credit card. So I put in my credit card. This was like a month ago, and it was gonna be $40, like a free 7-day trial, and then $40 or something like that. Maybe even 50, I can't remember. And I'm like, oh, I'll remember in time. I just want to download the template so I can like get a feel for what this thing is actually supposed to look like. And then I forgot to cancel my subscription because life got in the way, because everything's moving so fast in this past 30 days or not. But my credit card company texted me and they're like, oh, is this fraud? And I'm like, yes, please stop this charge. But then, so they stopped the charge and I wasn't charged, and then I canceled my subscription and it didn't go through, but then I couldn't use my credit card anymore. So, and it's been like 2 weeks like that, something like that. So I finally got on the phone with them, and I was like, they asked me like, oh, so is this fraud? And I'm like, well, no, but if I say it's not, is it still gonna go through? And they're like, no, it won't go through. So I was like, okay, yeah, I need to use my card again, please. Cardigan. So I took care of that. And then the apartment, the share house I'm gonna be staying in, sent me the next step to do, which is actually sign the contract. But they needed an actual, I needed to call them, and I have anxiety with calling strangers. I have anxiety calling friends and family too, mostly, but way more with strangers, because I can't see their expression, and I can't like tell like what they're feeling without their expression, so it freaks me out. Also, it's harder for me to process what someone is saying if I can't. Sometimes I hear it, but I don't process it, so it helps, the expression helps, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, let me try using my phone, even though I know it's not gonna work. The number they provided, because it's international, it didn't work. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I can use WhatsApp, because that's what my brother used to call me when I was out of the country. But I tried that, and it said this number isn't in WhatsApp, so I couldn't do that. So then the last resort was Zoom. And so I dressed and I cleaned my office just in case they had to FaceTime me. I was like, please no, don't FaceTime me. I'm already anxious enough. They didn't. It was just audio. And luckily I was like pulling up Google Translate. I don't know if they're gonna speak Japanese to me at first, and then I don't know if it's gonna be an automated message at first. Like, I need to know what's gonna be said. They spoke English. I think it was pretty obvious in my English written application that I spoke English, so they spoke fluent English to me, and it was very not awkward at all. I got that taken care of, and then they sent me the contract to sign. They went over like verbally like the initial terms and conditions, and I went along with them. Okay, it's 13 minutes. I gotta be mindful of the time. Anyway, did that, completed that step. But it's Monday now, and it's already Tuesday in Japan, so and I was still waiting to hear back from, I texted my future employer on Friday, maybe Thursday, which for them would have been Friday, and I didn't get anything over the weekend. Sunday, I was expecting something Sunday night, and so I was really nervous, because I told them, I don't know if I already mentioned this, my next update for them was like, okay, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and my last day here is working is the 17th. So then they were like, okay, great, get a plane ticket for the 17th, and then we'll see you on the 20th. And I'm like, no, that's way too soon. How about more like I fly out on the 25th, here it would be the 24th, and then I start working on the 27th. And that's the last message I sent them. And so I've just been waiting this whole time, like, uh-oh, did I do something bad? And finally, like 10 minutes ago, no, because I've been talking for 14, so maybe 20 minutes ago, they texted me back, and what they said made it seem like it's just a money issue for me. Like, the social insurance policy premium, whatever, is per month. So if I start working at the end of the month, I'm still going to be charged for the full month. And then I was thinking, oh, well, I'll take that hit, if I can get some at least a week in to actually focus on packing and all that, I'll take the hit. So I just texted him back like, oh, okay. Is that the only negative about this, is the money? And that I'm gonna be out some money because of this? Or is it like, is there anything else you're not telling me about, like my contract in general or stuff like that? And while I've been filming, they got back to me, and I'm kind of nervous. So after this next message, I guess I'm gonna look up plane tickets, or maybe just go to bed, because it's almost 9. It's 8:50, and I missed Monday morning prayer last Tuesday because it just completely forgot. I'm really trying to not forget, because it's at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I gotta go to bed early. Anyway, so I did a lot today. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Oh, I did miss something. I want to say, so I mentioned this in the last video. I decided to wear it today. I can still smell it. I've been smelling it all day, and I only did like a spritz and a half. And it smells good, but it gives me anxiety. So I'm probably not going to wear that ever again. Does that happen to you, viewer, me in the future? Some scents, they smell really good, but there's like this added level of anxiety in inducing pheromone or whatever it is. I don't like that. So I'm probably just gonna stick with this one until I leave, because I do not have room for any of that. Anyway, that's my update. Here's my cat.